Oh, right as I say that, hang on. I hear right immediately a huge truck pulls outside, blaring I thought it was Drake. Okay, they're gone now. That's good.
Oh,
okay.
Wow. I was gonna say I couldn't hear it at all, so I'm just like, huh.
Okay, I did noise gate it off because like the second said, let's get started. And I said, okay. I hear and then yo call me in my feelings. I'm like, oh fuck, not now.
Wait, does that happen very often?
No, I'll have well, I live in an apartment. I'll have people come to the parking lot, but I get every so often I think someone's picking someone up from my building, and so I'll hear like a loud motor and loud music, but it's not like a constant thing. I get more emergency vehicles coming through once a month or so. That's another story though. Anyways,
all right.
I did not mean to interrupt your
don't mind it.
Your thing. Okay, that noise gate is working then because I stopped as a giant truck rolled back out. Yeah, should be fine.
Oh, I actually heard the giant truck that time, actually.
Okay, good. I'm not. I was like, my noise gate is so good if he didn't hear that because my wall was shaking.
Oh god. Anyhow. First things first, feel free to introduce yourself.
Sure. I am a Mandalore. I run a YouTube game review channel, which I have tripped into running more often.
Oh, wow. That's actually maybe the fastest introduction. Actually, no, not quite the fastest. Fastest is still someone who just came on and called themselves a fucking idiot, and that was it.
Oh, was it Remy?
No, that wasn't Remy. Remy's one was actually really long, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Remy's interview actually went 6 hours.
Yeah, you mentioned that, because I was like, I've seen some of his Arma videos and stuff. And I thought, man, it'd be really funny if like one of your longest interviews was the guy with the shortest introduction.
Oh, God. No, he went on for a while. He probably had the longest introduction that I've had so far.
Man.
I think there was maybe one that was comparable, but that was an artist with like almost 20 years of history.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, that's understandable.
Alright. Anyhow, picking off of that review, so what got you doing reviews? Exactly.
It was just like a hobby. Like I had done YouTube videos sporadically over the years. Just sort of like, you upload whatever the hell. And then later on I did one in 2016. I did one or two in 2016. I didn't do many. I guess how the regular format started was more of like it's still a joke in a weird way to me, but it was more like, hey, wouldn't it be really funny if like, because you've seen those people who put like high effort edited videos into games that are very relevant, like Souls, whatever's new and coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if I did that, but for just like games no one really cares about that much. Just like, EVE Online's a weird game. Haha, what if I did a video where like I put effort into it? Oh, Space Station 13. That's really niche. No one talks about. I should put effort into something talking about that.
Oh god. Yeah.
Yeah, and then through 2017 I went, okay, because I was still like doing a lot of work and schooling stuff then. I was like, okay, I'll try to, as like a fun challenge this year, I'll try to do like a one of these things like every 3 weeks or so, which I did. There were times I missed it, but I did pretty well. And then that year went well and just sort of spiraled from there. What ended up happening was even when I wasn't actively working at stuff, the videos, they'd come out and not get much attention. Like there were like a few exceptions, but they weren't like, they wouldn't get like 6-digit views or anything still. But just over time, because I was covering such niche, weird little things, people who would search it up, it would end up being the top result for that video because no one else was doing anything with it. And so it just kind of built up over time. So that's why I always say, like, oh yeah, I just kind of tripped into this. Like, there wasn't like a, because I have like friends who do stuff on YouTube who are like, who they'll do something on something new, and they'll be like, like a week later, I had made 80,000 subscribers. And it's like, holy shit! Like,
Wow.
you mean like some people just like wake up and they have like overnight success with it?
Huh. And yours was just kind of gradual after a while, huh? Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, I'm happy things went that way. Like, I guess compared to I guess when it's more gradual, it's more like you can kind of, it's more controllable. I guess you could kind of handle like things kind of going up over time. It's like, all right, I can deal with it, compared to like when you have people who make a video, then the next day they're like they're internet famous with their video.
Yeah.
And they're like, I just did this for fun. Now what do I do now? Like, what's
yeah. I did have a fella like that on quite recently, actually. That fella, let's say that was Professor Lando, actually. Yeah. That fella pretty much said, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But kept going with it anyway. So yeah, interesting on that one. But anyhow, regarding interviews and whatnot, is there a particular selection process on games? Like, you seem to just pick some of the most random, if not just ridiculously out there stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of collaborative. What I would do is I have like this Google document list. It's like a big spreadsheet. And what I do is people can like submit games to like to make videos out of. I'm horribly behind on emails right now because I don't have like any editors or email staff. Kind of like most backend stuff is for like art stuff or all like translators or and that kind of deal. The actual management stuff like that, it's just me still.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very behind on that. But anyway, I'll have people can submit stuff and I'll put it, if it's something I'm interested in, I put it on this large Google Doc I have. And so I'll be like, okay, I have this big selection that people are interested in seeing, or I've learned about something weird from somebody. Because it'll be like, oh, I grew up in, Croatia and I played this when I was 6 and no one talks about it. It's like, wow, I've never seen this before.
Oh.
And so when the time comes, I try not to do a I don't want to be pressured by, what's the word? I don't want to be compelled to do something because it's like relevant or high in demand.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll have like people who, when they'll run review channels for a new game or just for new stuff, they cover stuff they clearly hate or just don't have interest in, or would rather be doing something else. And it's like that, when you're doing that, that's pure work.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say like playing, I hate being like, oh, playing games is like, can be work. But if you hate it and you're not interested in it, then you're not playing it to enjoy it or get something out of it. You're just playing it because you have to. And the work suffers from that, I think. So I was like, okay, I don't ever want to do that. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I have to do this because I wasn't interested in playing it. And even like user suggestions can, if it's like a Patreon tier or something for somebody, they can also get into that. Since it's like $200 and I'll review a game you want me to, and you can end up in the same situation.
Yeah.
So what I do is I have the big list and I go, okay, what am I kind of in the mood to play upcoming, or like what am I feeling like this time period? It's like, oh, I want to play like I don't know, something scary, I mean like a first-person horror game. And I go, okay, and I could open up the list and see a few on there that people have suggested like over the years. And it's like, okay, so now from that list I can either play something I've played before, or I can play something new, but it's something that someone out there actively wanted at some point. So it's not always going to be like, sometimes it's something that like two people or one person had asked about. But it still feels like, okay, I had a brief conversation with some person about this. I did read your email and talk to you about, or I might have talked back because it's just so overwhelming now if they like send like a really brief message.
Oh.
But it's like, okay, I did get your mail and I will do a video on that game. And I think it's an okay balance between doing what I want, but still being able to take like people's feedback into account.
All right. Yeah, that works out fine then. I do have to ask about two very specific games because you mentioned, what were you in the mood for? What the heck puts someone in the mood to play something like Anonymous Agony?
Okay. Anonymous Agony is really funny. Anonymous Agony was one I'd wanted to do for a while.
Oh, God. Okay.
Because it's like, growing up, it's like, I'm sure things are different now, but I'm sure most people have like an edgier phase in high school, at least back when it was. I was not, or no one I knew was quite on like the level of Haze. But it's like there's this specific, it's like this kind of specific time capsule for like late 2000s, just like this angst, this period.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's just like the internet's kind of like popular internet's kind of like a new thing. Like YouTube's starting to take off. It's like it has like references to Ray William Johnson being so cool. Mm-hmm. And it's just this, it came out in this perfect time where the internet was still a little more Wild West but starting to get produced enough to where like people were starting to like get big on YouTube and be kind of celebrities, but not really. It's like, okay, you have like some Wild West ideas with like weird production behind them. Mm-hmm. And then with Anonymous Agony, it also was coming out right as like the Devil May Cry reboot was happening.
Uh-huh.
So I always tie like Haze in that period with DMC.
Oh God.
Like Not in a Million Years and their horrible marketing. So like every time I think about even the new Devil May Cries, I think about DMC, and then it would remind me of Haze.
Oh no.
Because it's like, it was just this perfect level of like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot you. Not in a million years. Fuck you. It's like I would mix up Haze's lines with Dante's.
Oh God. Yeah.
With fake Dante, because it's like it's so similar.
Yeah. The main part I remember of the new DMC was there's just this one section which is just a complete back and forth of fuck you. Back
yeah, when he goes to the
yeah.
Where the demon's like vomiting, screaming "fuck you," and that's why, because that was what was popular. Everyone hated that, but they were trying to cash in on like that they were late to the party on like a 2000s edge. And so like Anonymous Agony was that, where it had clearly started a few years before that. But it's just so interesting because it's like you have some guy who's basically just the brain behind it. But because it was sort of in that Wild West but produced internet era, he can go, okay, here's my insane idea for a game. But I can still get professional level music, and I could get professional level voice actors because people are starting to use the internet to look for work.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why it's so fascinating to me, because it's like, wow, how could this ever happen today? Because it's like even short of the subject matter, which is already that's a lot to sign someone onto.
It is.
Yeah, because it's already such a minefield. But it's like, not only could you get people signed on, you could get like professional level work on this, which like I just can't see for like nearly nothing or free or like promised royalty rights.
Yeah.
It's like, I just can't see that happening like that today. Like maybe out in like a different culture or something where it's like a little different. But like at least here in the West, like I don't know how it's possible to like have people in on that who aren't doing a job for the money, because it wasn't like a paying job. And so it was more it was more of like it was like about that time sort of thing, since it's like, okay, I'd wanted to do the video for a while. Like, I guess Anonymous Agony isn't the kind of thing you're in the mood to play particularly, because it was so like bugged out and horrible. It's gotten patches since the video though, which is terrifying. The guy's back to working on it actively.
Oh my, okay. Christ.
But yeah, I would it was just sort of about that time, because of course one of the big things with it is like, is this going to be taken off YouTube within like an hour? For everything obvious it could be taken down over. And it was that sort of point where it's like, you know what, oh well, I'll just do it. If it goes, it goes. At least I did it.
Oh,
and it did stay up. I don't know, because it's not like that. It's really not that like visually explicit.
No,
like the subject matter is pretty.
Yeah,
the subject matter is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, but they don't actually like show. Yeah, they don't. Even like though I was like censoring parts out, they don't show anything like horribly graphic. But it's still like, it gives you such a like sickening feeling. It's just like, this feels like the kind of thing that would be taken down. But they didn't, so it's like, all right.
Yeah,
I guess it was fine.
It stayed up nonetheless. Anyhow, as for the second game, I have to ask about, what the hell got you with Mystery of the Druids?
Okay, that was more of a discovery. One of my friends, oh my god. Well, it had been like I said in the beginning of it, it was like this meme of just the screaming box art.
Yeah.
People on like people like hiding. People just like went funny face, because it was like a joke before mobile games, where like that screaming man icon is every mobile game ever made on the planet. And like there was a thing where like on 4chan you would, like when people would fuck up Wikipedia articles, they would like go and try to like hide the druid face somewhere in like an image, like a politician or something. Just like really faded out on like a glass or something.
Oh god. Oh
so,
god.
Yeah,
Wait, that was a thing.
Yeah. It was called being subtle. People would you would post like a Wikipedia article or something, or for like someone you didn't like, I don't know, Jack Thompson. See if you find something you don't, or just something like a Sonic fan wiki or something. Like, okay, be subtle, and that just means you try to hide the druid face inside of photos on it.
Jesus, all right.
but it was like, the face was more of like the joke. The actual game was not played, because I started playing it a little bit like maybe a decade ago. The thing is, it kept crashing just trying to start it, and it was like I could not play it. So I just sort of gave up on it. And then years later, GOG came out and they said, okay, we got Mystery of the Druids working, and they were also just like posting the face everywhere, because that's the funny thing about it.
All right.
and so I was talking to my friend Avery. He runs he's Shammy on YouTube.
Yeah.
He's running his own he does his own review stuff too. He does good stuff, really good writing work. And we were neighbors now, and this was before that, but we like stream bad adventure stuff together. And I was like, hey, I played a little bit of this, and it was like, this game was weird when I first started it up a few years back, but it kept crashing. I was like, it works now. We should try to stream this one, because it's pretty strange. And he's like, oh, okay.
Oh no.
And so we did, and then like the second realizing that Lowry was floating, I'm sure it's on stream somewhere. I remember I kind of like paused.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I immediately started laughing. I just stopped, and like there was like this silence about it. And then we started losing it when he's like reprimanding him floating above his chair. And that was kind of realizing that, oh man, this could be something really, really special. And it was. Like there's stuff that didn't make it into the video, and still stuff I'm finding out about the game. Because I had someone only fairly recently, like 2 months or so ago. They went like, "Hey, did you ever experience the scene where Halligan gets arrested?"
Huh?
Like, what are you talking about?
Oh god.
Like, like if you don't go to the time travel area after the bomb goes off and instead go to like the port, if you go to like a specific area, instead Halligan gets arrested. It's like, what? It's just like, how much do they like account for?
What the heck?
Yeah, because it's like for the video you have to like,
Yeah.
I guess for both of those, it's hard. I don't know how to put it. It's more difficult working on like a regular game review editing wise, because it's like, okay, you have to find the clip and do all this stuff and find exactly what you're looking for. Whereas when I record the adventure game videos, I can almost edit them linearly unless I have to go back and re-record scenes, which makes it a lot less work intensive to actually put stuff in the editor. But the challenge then comes into trying to make it coherent and deciding what stays in, because it's like, okay, there's like this scene in Mystery of the Druids where you argue with a librarian for 15 minutes. It's like, okay, is this worth keeping? Like, how do I cut this out? I guess because I do try to keep my videos semi-brief if I can. I know some people, I know the meta right now is you can really extend runtime.
Oh yeah.
But it's like,
definitely.
I don't like watching that kind of stuff usually, where it's like every detail is cut down, like out there. So it's a challenge of balancing out what insane stuff to keep and like what to kind of trim down just so it's like a paced video. Which it's like, I've always cut stuff out from like some reviews just so that if people do go and play it, even if they watch like a spoiler section, there'll still be stuff in there that I never mentioned. Like people will play Fear and be like, what is this? What's this fat guy from Jurassic Park doing in the game? Like, why didn't you ever mention him? It's like, yeah, I kept Norton Mapes a secret.
Just fair enough.
Yeah. So it's like, I want to leave some, like, I don't want to show everything. Like Limb of the Lost had a wood gator creature. So it's like, if someone ends up playing the game for themselves, I don't want to have shown every single insane thing about it, just so like if they play it or if they stream it for like their fans or something, they can still have something really, really strange happen that no one knew was coming.
Oh boy. Because yeah, seeing the stream of druids that you did, I was just like, oh god, this is 8 hours. Oh wait, there's another 8 hours. Oh god, wait, this goes even longer. And I was just like, huh.
It is funny when like people when they'll watch that and be like, wow, like watching the Salt arc after it's like when it's so different. It's like, I watched the Salt arc, then seeing it be mentioned in the video so briefly, where we're just losing our minds, like walking back and forth on a dock, just like drunk out of our minds for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then Joseph Anderson has to come in the call and go, hey, you guys have been soft locked. It's like, oh, what do we do? You have to go to the beginning of the game and pick up burnt grass. It's like, what do you mean? We never use it.
Right. There was that one section of just, yes, pick up the bone. Now pick up the grass underneath it.
It's like, what grass? Like, what are you talking about? Which, that's like the hell of adventure games in general, is that if you know what you're doing, you can beat them so fast. But if you don't, it's like the bad ones are just such a guessing game of what little item combinations you need. And it's like, oh great, this has that and weird stuff you can do that will break the game.
Oh yeah, there is sheer moon logic in a lot of adventure games.
Oh, it's unreal.
Yeah. Of the ones I've played through, I'm just like, so that was... Why do I have to work with binary all of a sudden? Huh.
Yeah, it's just... It's understandable why they died out as a genre.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, you have the revival of the good ones, but it's like it's like, oh, like there's the Monkey Island HD. It's like, yeah, you don't... It's like if FPSs as a genre just vanished off the planet. It's like it's like, oh, Doom's coming back. It's like, no, there were so many. There are so many out there still that are just like, who knows what hell's await.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Because yeah, adventure game wise, I'm just like, huh, Monkey Island, Monkey Island. I see, I see.
You said you had worked on some?
That's it. I'd worked on visual novel projects before and RPGs.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That was mainly in the writing department because I am something of a freelance writer. Was a freelance writer rather before the casino gig, but anyhow. Still actually doing that part-time editing, anyhow.
I was gonna say, I'd imagine you'd be like writing still, no matter what.
Yeah, it kind of sticks with you. You just keep writing. Anytime, say, NaNoWriMo comes around in November, write out a novel.
Oh man, my girlfriend used to do that. I think oh god, because she'd go for the there's like tiers in it, right? Where you do like the so many. I think she'd go for like 20,000 or something when she was actively. Where she'd be like last year when she was actively working, like a 9 to 5. She'd be like, I'm still doing NaNoWriMo. I'm gonna do 20,000 words. Like what? Or whatever it was, just some insane amount per 25. Did you ever get any of like did you order the merch for yourself, like a mug or something?
Nah.
I survived NaNoWriMo.
For me, when it came around to NaNoWriMo, it was pretty much when I was in the training school for the particular casino job. So
okay.
I would come back from training to be a dealer, and then I'd have to write.
Oh man,
and
that's such a stacked day.
I actually did the entire thing on stream. So,
oh wow, it's all documented. You have proof to show the
50,000 words, all written on stream in the month. That was just like,
man,
shite, that's a lot.
Yeah. Did you get like formal education writing, or have you just learned how to write basically?
Let's see. In uni, I got very close to getting a minor in creative writing. I think I was 1 unit off, but I wasn't bothered to stay in uni for the extra unit. So I just grabbed my degree and graduated instead.
Gotcha. I mean, I guess creative writing is the kind of thing where you might not necessarily need a degree if your samples are good enough.
Oh, all of it. Majority of it is self-taught. The stuff they teach at uni, it's useful if you don't know the concepts already. If you know the concepts, then yeah, you can mainly skip on it. It is very beneficial though, but you run into some interesting people there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it's anything like I ducked out of a high school creative writing class pretty fast, but it's like you have such a variety, but you do have the creative writing kids where it's there's something strange going on.
Something strange was a bit of an understatement for some of these fellas anyhow.
I completely believe you.
Yeah, because the thing was, every week we would have to workshop like small groups pieces. So there would be 4 people in a week that had to be workshopped. So everyone in the class would give their pieces feedback. So you would have roughly 20 people's worth of feedback every week that you were scheduled on. So,
oh man.
Yeah, we had the kind of weird kid which wrote rather than in prose, wrote in script form, and it was some weird argument about the LGBTQ community in some senses.
Oh no.
So it was incomprehensible. The subject matter was very touchy, and yeah.
Oh man. So it's like screenwriting format, but about
and
but about their thoughts.
Yeah, most I could say to this was, this is just dialogue. There is no prose here. This is just dialogue. It's not particularly well written dialogue either. So, yeah, here's all the sections I have checkmarked for you to make adjustments on. I think I almost highlighted the entire page, and I just handed it back slowly.
Yeah, because it's like, it sounds more like it's like if you're doing a script or something, maybe, because it's like creative writing isn't for that kind of format.
Oh, it really
Which
is
like, it's like, oh man, this reads like shit, and then oh wow, he's got some thoughts to share with the class.
Yeah, it sure as heck felt like that. Because I, at one point, was in a screenwriting class as well. That one honestly, the people in it weren't that bad. It was the tutor that was a special snowflake.
Oh man.
That guy's the kind of guy that pretty much just flaunted, how does one put it? Flaunted their own short film and designed the entire unit around their short film.
Oh, okay. It's one of those.
Yep.
Look how smart I am. One day you'll be as good as me.
Yeah, he only had the one short film to show.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it was about a fat kid getting bullied and then eating a confession later.
That is the most short film shit. It's like that's like a student film that gets submitted, but that's like the course is big. That's the big centerpiece.
Yeah. Pretty much. That class, I think I tried skipping as many of those as possible because the guy had a verbal tick as well. I think he would say a particular phrase at least once or twice every sentence. It got to the point where I got so bored in his classes I started counting them. I think we got to about 200 in the hour.
So was it like he would say something about I don't know how to put it. Like he'd be teaching and then he'd always say the same thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that.
Yeah,
he probably didn't say
along
that.
those lines.
It's like, you gotta do that, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta write out the script, you know what I'm saying? Or just over and over again.
Yeah, it was some verbal tick along those lines, and it was just like, please don't. But nah, the guy kept going with it. It was every single class as well, so I'm just like, okay, this class, 200 in the hour, next class, 300 in the hour, class after, oh, only 150. Oh, that's a record. Huh. Is this guy actually teaching anything quality?
Yeah, I don't blame you for ducking out of there.
Yeah, the most I got out of it was learning to write properly in like Australian script writing format, because we do have a very specific layout for that. It's a very clean look as well. Anyhow. Oh yeah, moving back
that is useful to know.
Yeah. Moving back onto the subject of reviews though. So what is your creative process with them? How do you go about putting together a review?
Yeah, so I'll play the game. Usually I will play it at least twice. There are cases where I've only, like, there's stuff like multiplayer stuff that you can't really play as like a campaign. There has been stuff I've only played once, like Pathologic, where I've realized that like they're so time consuming I can't play them like completely again. Or saying I'll play them partially again if it's something like if it's like an RPG, I might try a few builds out.
Okay.
Or get partially through it to get more of a feel for it. So I'll play the game. And during it, I will sometimes write, I'll write like a little outline of just notes. It's not often I'll stop and like, I'll stop playing the game and write stuff down, but usually when I'm just like done playing, just so I'm not like interrupting. Unless it's something like strange, I think I might forget, then I'll do that.
Okay.
Then when it's all done, I will have, because I record with Shadow Play, and I don't record like hours of gameplay at a time. I'll usually record specific stuff, like, okay, I'm gonna F10 these 10 seconds of shooting with this gun to see, so this will be the clip of the gun. Or I'll like F11, which is when you record the past. It'll automatically record the past little while of time, and I have mine set for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So it won't make a gigantic clip, but it's like if something strange happens or bugs out, or there's like something important happens, I can just hit that button.
All right. Makes sense.
Yeah, so what'll happen then is I'll have hundreds, sometimes thousands of clips if I'm very unlucky.
Oh.
The last one I did was a thousands clip project. And so I'll need to go through it. And so when I go through each clip, I see what it is, and then I rename the file, since it'll just be called like Call of Duty, date of video, etc. It's just like, it's all nonsense file names.
Oh.
And so I'll go through them manually, and be like, okay, what was this a clip of? Okay, this is like this is weapon laser, this is like weapon gun, and I'll name them all in like a pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get rid of clips that are like where I can't do anything with. But there'll be some where I'll open them up and be like, this is pointless, or I don't remember what this was for at all. Or like this was something I F11'd or like I hit the button on accident. But I'll go, perfect, that's B-roll now, so I won't name it.
Okay.
And so that's so it's very boring to do this. But when it's done, it makes the actual editing a lot way easier for how I do it. Because I like showing what I'm talking about on screen as possible. So it's like I could do it where I had a big file and just search through the giant movie to find the clip I'm talking about. But with this, I can be like, okay, when I'm getting it outlined, how I'm going to talk about this game, I could just go, okay, the weapons are da 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 da, they do da 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 da. And I can open up the folder and search like weapon, and then I'll have like 20 different relevant clips pop up. And I go, perfect, I just drag that in now. Which makes the editing super convenient, because I could usually have what I'm looking for immediately compared to hunting around for it.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just just super boring to set up. And sometimes I will search something in and I have not recorded it, or I didn't name it, or I named it something inconsistent. Where I'd be because when you name so much stuff, I'll sometimes go, haha, that looks like, and then name it like something funny or something, and then I forget what I put. It won't just be like, grenade launcher. I won't have clip like enemy defeated grenade launcher. It might be like dude fucking explodes. I can't remember I named it that. So I'm like, where's the grenade launcher clip? And like later I might find it, like, oh, there it is. I called it completely obliterated.
Right, so
it's Goblin Sent to the Shadow Realm. I wish I hadn't named it that.
Right, so on average, how many of these clips would you have for, say, like a 20-minute review then?
Let's see. I want to say for 20-minute video, probably at least, before going through them, probably 500 to 800-ish, I would guess.
Christ, all right. Fair enough.
They depend, but it's like a lot of them are just so short because it'll be like a 5-second recording of like like I said, a gun shooting, or just like mousing over a feature that I'll be bringing up. Where it's like, oh, and then this menu could da-da-da. And so a lot of them are, the runtime on them I'm sure is small, but it's just a lot to organize. If it is a more complicated beast of a video, I'll start having to do like subfolders. Okay. Probably the shortest of all actually are the adventure game videos.
Okay.
Because those are recording such long stretches. And I usually sometimes with those I don't bother to label them all, because I'll see the little preview thumbnail, know what section it is, and I can just organize them by date.
Okay.
Go, okay, since I'm just playing through the game linearly, I can just edit linearly.
Alright. I could imagine that the latest one was an absolute hellscape to do, though.
Oh my god, yeah. I'll probably be on a YouTube break soon, actually, but that was that one was insane because, I guess I did a video on the new Total War Warhammer game that came out. I got access to it, to the early version, on January 20th.
Wow. Okay.
Which they give me a little more time, which is nice. I was able to finish playing it where I was happy with it last Wednesday on the 9th.
Oh god.
I had virtually nothing actually edited down last Wednesday.
Oh.
So that video was made in about 4 or 5 days.
Oh, in the flying fuck. Okay. Sure.
Like I said,
sure.
Well, what happened was I had because I finished it on that one, I don't even remember what day it was, but it was either that Wednesday or Thursday. I was at least wise enough to when I would when I like play through a game's faction, I would after I did or the next day, I would go through and do that clip renaming thing I was talking about. Just so I could have it all down for that faction. Go, okay, like here's what they called it. Just played it. Here's Chaos Warriors or something. Here, I'll put them all in this folder. Just so when the time came, I wouldn't have just this monolithic block of files. So okay, at least when I do it, I'll name them all. Okay, I'll put them in the Kislev folder. Okay, I'll put these all in the Nurgle folder. What's this for? Sieges. I'll put this in the Siege folder. Because I kind of had it at least sectioned out in my mind a little on the outline, just how it would roughly be edited. And if like I didn't have a clip in the folder, I could just back out and search through all of them at once.
All right.
And so I was able to kind of do a lot of preparation work on it in that time to where I could edit it fast. But it's still a lot of editing in a few days.
Oh yeah, it sounds like an absolutely maddening amount. Because let's see, had you done the voiceover at that point yet, or did you need to go through that as well?
Oh no, I had to do voiceover. I had to. It's very I mean, projects like this are usually they get morphed around a lot.
Ooh.
This one is just the time constraint was so short. Because it's like, man, they want this. It's like if I'm going to make the conditions of stuff, it probably needs to be out on the 14th, and it was just such a small amount of time, and it was a stressful period, but it worked out. It's just a lot to do in a short amount of time, which yeah. I've done some pretty to the wire speed videos before. That was just the most in the amount of time.
Yeah, an entire hour-long video in a couple of days. That's pretty maddening to do. It was like,
with an outline though, it's like it's at least I know roughly what I want to do. It's like there might be bits I come up with while editing, which a bunch of those always make it in there. But it's when I was looking at the outline, which my outlines are usually pretty brief. Like I just do it in like Windows Notepad. I don't put it in like OpenOffice or something like that where it can be nicely like formatted. Just go, I'll section out, put some things in there. And then opening Notepad and scrolling down and realizing how long it was. I was like, oh shit, I don't know if I'll be able to do this in time.
Christ. But let's see, so clips, voiceover, on top of notes. Alright, the one part I'm particularly interested in is, let's see, when calling for a discount, do you actually just contact the devs directly and try to get a line through them, or do you contact the devs when you think of doing the review?
When I'm already working on it, I used to try to reach out to the devs directly.
Okay.
And that was... It wasn't often I get a response because it was just YouTube channel trying to contact developer. Also because it's not like I have a it's just a Gmail account. I don't have like a special press account or something that's priority.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, hey, like I'm gonna talk about your game and how much I like it. Please, if you put it on sale, people might buy it. And like I just won't get a response often.
Okay.
Or like people just miss the mail. But then when I got the GOG partnership, which took a few months to set up because they're operating on pull-in time. And they didn't have their system fully their backend system wasn't fully set up for it at the time. It's much better now.
All right.
But now I can contact my GOG guy, I love him to death. He's such a cool dude. I'll be like, hey, I'm doing a video on Homeworld. Can you please reach out to Gearbox and try to see if they could get it on sale? I like this game. You're like, okay, like I'll see what I can do. Because we try to schedule that in advance, but sometimes it gets close down since like with that, they were at Gamescom. It was whatever was happening in December. They were at some sort of event or E3 or it was just Game Awards. No, Game Awards. And so it's like people will be tied up with stuff, but when it's not a busy time, it's pretty easy to do if they get into it, since they won't respond to Gmail accounts that quickly, but they will respond to their distributors' inquiries pretty fast.
Oh, of course. Yeah, yes. When
Since
it comes to sales, you've got to
Mm-hmm.
got to be completely on top of things.
Oh yeah, since they've shown that, hey, like, this guy will do a video on it who says he likes your game, and now and his audience will actually buy this stuff. Because I think there was just like this sense that because of like Let's Players and stuff, which I guess isn't a problem or a bad thing, but it's like, oh, if a Let's Player plays your game, they'll get like they might get a sales bump, but it's not guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Like sometimes people just want to watch, Markiplier play it or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So go, okay, like a YouTuber's going to do it, but his audience, they'll buy this. They're going to play it. Because there were times where they would, I heard from some later at least that they said, oh yeah, like one of my, like someone warned us, like was like trying to beg us to put it on sale or something. And we said, oh no, it's fine. Like we're not going to get any bump. And then we did get a bump and we went, oh fuck, we should have put it on sale. But that happens less now. It seems people are a lot more willing to go with that.
Okay, fair enough. In which case, let's see. The next note I had down here was to mention Games Workshop for whatever reason. So, how far down the rabbit hole of Games Workshop were you? Were you someone who collected minis? Were you someone who just got into the IP?
Sort of a blend. I was into the IP, but we had like a local board game, like tabletop place. It's interesting. It's since shut down. It turned into something completely different. And then within like the past 3 or so years, because it turned into like a flower shop or just something completely different.
A flower shop? Okay.
Yeah, it was something like completely different because like the board game place had closed down long ago.
Oh.
Because tabletop wasn't really a big thing then. But then Critical Role and like Warhammer, like stuff just kind of got more popular over the years. And so now there's like a proper Warhammer store there.
Oh wow, damn!
Because when I played, it was like even like growing up, I wasn't able to like afford an army or anything. So it's like when you didn't have money for it, and it was like, Games Workshop's expensive now. It wasn't much better back then.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so like I'd have friends' armies we'd play with, or like that kind of deal. I didn't have my own dudes to paint, and I had like this harrowing moment realizing that I live not too far away. Like it's a drive, but I don't live too far away from a Warhammer store now. I have disposable income, and and like work from home, and COVID's happening. It's like, oh no, this could be so dangerous. I'm never going in there. And so for now, I've been kind of avoiding it because I'm afraid that like if I open Pandora's box to be able to properly like get into it, it could be horrible for me. But I might try, but we'll see. Because I've been able to paint like some minis over the years, just like, I'll like buy like a Morn Goal or something from Fantasy and have that.
Okay.
But it's like I've never been like, okay, I'm gonna actually set up my proper army now. Especially since the new editions of 40k is a fucking nightmare right now.
Yeah, it is. I had a regular group I used to play with. It was we played through 8th. When it got to 9th, I was like, I'm done, I'm out, you guys have fun. I'm good.
I genuinely do not think 9th will last throughout this year. I think that's gonna get shelved.
Oh wow. And
it sounds crazy because it's like so recent, but I think it's bad enough they might try to overwrite it as fast as possible.
I think they'll just milk the codexes, then just move on from there, pretty much.
I cannot, because I was looking at the rules, I cannot believe what a mess it is right now. I was like, 8th had some weird stuff, like this is... I don't know where to start with 9th.
Like, I've been around since, like, 4th edition, and it's just like... What have you done to this game? What have you done?
Yeah.
The fourth was really weird. Fourth had a lot of like very, how does one say it? Lore or simulation kind of centric ruling here and there. So as they,
What do you mean?
So they were very much into just, oh yes, so you had target priority, which was just, oh, what is more threatening to this specific unit? It's like, oh, if that unit's closer, that's more threatening, or blah blah blah. Instead of being able to pick out whatever units. Then you had stuff like, oh, look out, sir, where like a guy would just redshirt for a sergeant or whatever.
Oh, right, yeah, or they, yeah, you get surrounded with like the bodyguards.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's really weird how target priority works, but that's neither here or there. So what army would you actually pick if you were to go ahead?
So I know there's stuff that there weren't an option back when I was like actively playing it. So it's like, oh wow, they have Custodes now, they have Mechanicus now. It's like because back in the day I wanted to make a guard or a orc army.
Oh.
And it's like I'd like to do guard now. It's like I wouldn't like to, but like Tyranids would be fun too. But Tyranids also need like, I'd like to do Tyranids, but when I think of Tyranids, I think of how many Tyranids I need to.
You named all three of the Horde armies, and I'm just like, oi, mate.
Yeah, oi. Exactly. It's like, oh, at least with guard, it's like, ooh, there's some big vehicles I might just be running, but with Tyranids, I'd probably be focusing more on how many there are.
Oh yeah, no, definitely for the guard. Let's see, a mate of mine, he picked a guard army. He was like, oi, mate, you mind helping paint a few of these? I'm like, oh, how bad could it be? They're flesh toned. Oh god, they're flesh toned. And yeah, there was 60 of the buggers. Then he bought another 60 of them.
Jesus.
Madman has his entire army painted. And not painted to like battle ready, but painted to like full standard. And I'm just like, oi, was it worth it, man? Was it worth it? He's like, yeah, look at it. It looks amazing. Like, I know, but man hours put into this. Oh god.
Did you ever get to play 3rd edition?
Nah, never got to 3rd edition.
I got to experience the transition of 3rd. I got to well, it didn't happen to me. I got to witness the Tau Fish of Fury being used.
Oh.
Okay. Which for those who don't know, it's you take what you would do is you would take the devilfish or like this transport vehicle that would count as like a scout speeder called a skimmer.
Uh-huh.
And you just park them close kind of diagonally. And what you do is you unload your troops behind them with the devilfish blocking them off. And so you basically have an immobile, well, probably not immobile. You have like this bunker that can move around the map really well. That's incredibly hard to hit. Mm-hmm. Since I think you had to roll it was only 6s. You could only hit it if you rolled a 6 with your boys behind cover on it. So you just had like this assault bunker that moved around the map of really, really good sharpshooters. And no one knew how to deal with it.
Pretty much, yeah, because back then was the old vehicle rules. If you couldn't pen the armor, then yeah, you had cover which had armor instead of hit points. That was dumb. That was really dumb.
Oh yeah, it was insane because I was just like young and didn't understand what the rules were. I just saw it being used like at a game and this dude losing his mind and like they started arguing. It's just like I learned later like what it was. People was like, oh, it's like the Fish of Fury.
Oh god.
Like, oh, that's what was happening.
I think that lasted up to maybe 5th edition actually, but past there skimmers got reworked. Yeah.
I mean, it got better and because 4th and had where you could destroy a vehicle with like a glance hit or
oh yeah, you could glance something to death in 4th.
Yeah, which made it a little bit better since you could if you at least unloaded on it, there was a chance.
Then Tau got Riptides.
Yeah.
That is a dark time. Riptides are still used. I saw a guy just throw 3 Riptides onto the field and I was like, I see.
God. Yeah, I think the one army I don't want to paint is Astartes.
Really? Oh.
That's well, it's. I take that back. It's more. They look really fun to paint. It's like, oh, look, there's so much stuff you can do. But the Space Marines, they've been eating too good. They've had it too good. At least when they got the Primaris, they made everyone buy their new toys because the Primaris are too big for the old Rhinos and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, the dumb.
It's like they've gotten
there.
absurd amounts of new stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to.
Line is very long.
Huge.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to support the. I'd rather not be buying the Space Marine economy. I don't want to be pumping them even more.
Fair enough. In my case, I chose Mechanicus, so that is a hell and a half to paint.
Yeah, there's so many little bits on them. Especially just like, oh, they have like pipes coming out of everywhere and wires.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, transporting them is a different kind of hell, pretty much.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine.
I think the most whack model I've painted so far that's still up on my shelf is still just Belisarius Cole, and I'm just like, Caterpillar Man. The freaking Caterpillar Man.
Imagine it's like moving the models around. It's like, are these gonna make it? Are my minis gonna make it today? Who's going to lose something?
Most of them made it. I think the ones I had the most trouble transporting actually were Tau instead of Mechanicus.
Oh, I can see that if like it was like weapons breaking off.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Weapons or attachments can easily snap off when it comes to Tau. For Mechanicus, I more or less just designed a special container. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this much cushioning for these particular units, and hopefully they'll make it.
You have your Mechanicus lasagna.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just one container with a bunch of stacks and a bunch of cloth, just all arranged in such a way that stuff doesn't exactly poke into one another.
It's the best you can do.
Yeah, you eventually figure out how to do like mini Tetris, essentially.
Yeah, my friend and I would go to the board game place. He also just had like a bunch of like blankets for like his younger sister, which like her infant blankets, and that was like the model. Those were the mini transporting blankets. Since you just like layer them out in weird ways. Or like he had some he brought in like a Risk box, which was weird. Like they're just like loose in it. It's like, well, if it works, it works.
Alright. Fair enough. Anyhow. Onto some other content that you've handled in past. How in the heck did you get involved in PST?
Oh, that was I had been talking to Avery for a while. We were friends at that point, and you just went, "Hey, do you want to be on the podcast? Do you want guests on it?" And I went, "Okay." I think I told, there might have been Treaty of Canem. I don't remember what the first story I told was. Wow, that was insane. And then I guess again for a different one and told some other story, and like, wow, that was insane. They said, oh, we're going to be expanding the I guess the hosts of it to try and be able to rotate people out more for schedules. Like, do you want to host for it? I went, all right. And it was done. But it's nice because it's like I don't have to. It's not a thing I constantly have to be called up on, since they have a few people now. So they could just rotate in and out. So I might not be on it for months and months at a time.
Fair enough. There are 3 particular stories that I remember distinctly when it comes to you. And that is Treaty of Canem, because that one is just, what the hell are kids doing signing a treaty over the war economy of, was it rocks
of
at
courts?
The time?
Yeah, it was quartz.
Yeah, it was quartz. My God.
You know, when you're a kid, you dig up such a shiny crystal that looks valuable.
Yes, the whole economy over quartz. Jesus Christ. The other one I remember was just Dear Aslan.
Yeah, there's been an update. Aslan died recently, actually.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, there was I guess for those who don't know, I saw a play of The Horse and His Boy that was a few hours away. but there were some strange undertones to the entire ordeal. And there's, when they started it, like, all right, let us pray before the show. Dear Aslan. I was like, what?
Christ.
Like, why are you praying? Like addressing him and saying, like, there were, we were going to get actors from this other school, but, that acting school was in a lot of spiritual trouble.
Oh no.
It's like, oh, what does he mean by that? It's, do you think he might have found, like, do you think there were gay kids in a theater school? It might be possible. Just like, what? Because like spiritual trouble, it's like, yeah, okay, he discovered there are LGBT students at a theater school, and they were freaked out about that.
Oh my.
But yeah, and so it turned out the theater director was also the guy who voiced the terrifying Aslan. Because like, if you've seen the movies, Aslan, he's a big, wonderful Liam Neeson lion.
Yeah, big.
But in this, he's
lion.
like this.
Yeah.
But in this, he's like the Souls boss with like dead eye sockets they made out of wood and gave him skeletal ribs for some reason. I think they were ripping off some design that's in like the London theater or something. But there's just way scarier. And when they cleaned up later. But yeah, the theater director voiced Aslan. But I'm still, to this day, on their mailing list just for like theater events. And a few months ago, they had like, remembering Aslan, whoever the theater director's name was. And it had all this stuff about like, they're still trying to do the new theater and stuff. And like, in honor of his memory, are you willing to send us more money?
Oh,
it's like, no thanks. Because last time when I went there, they were trying to move into a much bigger theater due to like donations and stuff they were getting, which I guess they're still in the process of. But it was harrowing to find out. It's like, oh, Aslan's gone, or if they're gonna still use his like recorded dialogue, or how that's gonna work. Because who could play Aslan like him?
All right, fair enough. My God, the Aslan's dead. Man, Aslan's dead.
Yeah, that's what I said. I went, oh, Aslan's dead. It's like, oh, and he wants my money still. It's like I came there twice. It's like I've done more than enough already.
Twice. Oh my God.
I came back after hearing about the school in spiritual trouble because my bi friend thought it'd be funny to see it himself.
Christ.
It's like I've done more than enough giving you money I shouldn't have.
Fair enough. Because yeah, then the last particular story I need to ask about is just vodka air filter.
Oh yeah, I unfortunately don't remember much of how it happened, but
My God.
I mean, drunk shenanigans have always just been a thing of mine, I guess. I didn't start. I don't drink often, but when I do, it's usually at a time. Since I didn't start drinking till quite a bit. I was like already in college before I was like doing any alcohol stuff at all, as you'd expect. College was enough to change on that, but it's like I haven't had a drink in probably a month now, but it's not an often thing. But when I do, I guess because I started when it was when I do it, it's usually social, so it's just more of a fun time.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and so what happened was it's like, oh, this is always a good time, and then that serve intensified where it's, oh, this is gonna be great, and so it just turned into like trying to like, I feel great, I want to stay drunk, I'll drink some more, I'm just drinking for maintenance. And then more would just be stuck around the place, like, oh, I'll pour what looks like water, but it's actually vodka.
Oi.
Or I'm gonna water down some vodka.
Oi.
Just like, oh, I surely when I get sober, I can trick myself to being back here. Which isn't how it works, but so like in Avery's case, he'll like reach for water bottles and stuff, and then he'll like try to chug it down. It's like pure vodka and stuff like that. Christ. I've only gotten myself on like accidentally once where I was just dying of thirst one day. And I went to my because I think it was I had drank the night before, and I went to the fridge, and I had like no, I guess to say it cut off water or something. There was just I was not able to get, like, I didn't have water access. I went, oh no. But we had juice. I had orange juice, which wasn't ideal. But I was like, I could go like get some water bottles out of my trunk because I had just forgotten to bring them from the grocery store the day before.
Okay.
I was like, oh, I'm so thirsty. So it's like, open up the orange juice container, like a Tropicana or something. Went, started putting it down, and it was just kind of chugging it, and then realizing how sharp it was, and then realizing at some point I had changed the entire container into being a giant screwdriver, and realizing how much I had taken. I just like put it down in horror and looked at the clock, and it's like 9:30 a.m. I'm like, oh no, this is my day now.
Oi.
It's like I have work to do.
Screwdriver. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. I think I've only caught myself like that once at a party, and that was... Just like packing up some glasses, and I was like, you know what? Someone just left some water here. What's the worst that could happen? Takes a swig of it. It's just vodka. I'm just like,
oh man.
Of course it was.
It is scary with some kinds where it's like some vodka just does not have a scent at all.
Oh yeah.
It's like you just don't know until it's too late.
Oh, there are two specific ones
God.
which are just, let's see. Ones I remember going down smoothly are just Russian Standard and Bedivers. If you get those over there, yeah.
Yeah, I get we get Russian Standard every so often for our movie nights here. We try to get the Dan Aykroyd Crystal Skull vodka.
Oh,
it's actually incredibly smooth. It's probably some of the best vodka we can get.
Oh,
though I actually got I got one of my friends a Beluga for his birthday with some other stuff.
Oh, okay,
which I haven't tried, but that stuff's supposed to be incredibly good. But they're like a high-end Russian dealer of it. I guess they're I guess they have some stuff they sell for like $6,000 bottles or something crazy like that.
Yeah, along those lines. At the end of the day, you're just drinking distilled potatoes, but nonetheless.
I mean, you can make some nasty vodka though. Like,
oh yeah,
Russian Standard's surprising because it's pretty smooth for the price compared to other stuff you can get.
Yeah, on the nastier end is anything that's like bottom shelf, so if someone reaches for a bottle of Smirnoff, I'm just like, please don't. Please don't. It is not.
That is weird how popular Smirnoff is for what it is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's with like American beers, like Bud Light is so horrible.
Oh.
It's incredible how terrible our beers are. And it's like just like the branded ones, and people you can tell a lot by what kind of event it'll be by the beer they have. It's like if there's a bunch of Bud Light there, it's like, okay. I kind of know the crowd to expect tonight.
Yeah, the most common I've seen for Bud Light is probably mixed martial arts events, so like UFC, etc. Yeah, there'll always be like the Bud Light kind of commercial. It's like,
Yeah, it's for if you want to fight at a party.
Yeah, that's great. It's supposed to be light beer. Not even not even full strength. It's just light.
I'll do a joke one day because I've had it planned forever. I just haven't had an opportunity because I want to do it for Space Station 13. I just forgot to. And that was years ago.
Okay.
Because it's like you do chemistry stuff where it's like, oh, well, you have to find pure water. And you can't do that with tap because that has minerals. Where can you find water that's so pure? It's even purer than your tap water. I'm like, oh, I found some. Then just like throw a case of Bud Light on the counter.
Oi.
It is so horribly watery. Oh, it's disgusting. I'm still like trying to find my beer, honestly.
Yeah.
I guess because it's like my plan is if I'm gonna drink, like if I'm going to try to get drunk, I'll just go for liquor. Compared to because it's like if you're trying to do that with a beer, like you have to go through so many calories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And just like I like some stouts, but I haven't found like something where I could just sit around and drink this all day for just like no particular reason, which is probably good, I guess. But
yeah, that's a good thing. I know when I got to that particular phase, oh boy, we'll get to that. Anyhow, let's see. So I am going to toss an odd question here. kind of out of the blue, but it is one thing that a friend of mine, actually a couple of friends, wanted to ask, actually.
Sure.
Of just, so, what the heck is the relationship with Seth?
Oh, we've that was more of a thing viewers just started for some reason.
Oh boy. Okay.
I think it's because we're just kind of we were covering similar kinds of games in very different ways, but he also, I'm trying something like it's just some weird stars aligned with it, or we'd just be covering really interesting stuff for better or worse, and we just happened to be uploading like within like when we were both really uploading more frequently, we were doing it like within about a week of each other.
Oh wow.
So it became like an on-off thing almost, where it seemed like we were taking turns. And so YouTube commenters, as they do, were like, wow, I just got back from the other guy's video. And then it just starts like, haha, they're the same person, because they're like they're just changing over from the videos every week. But no, Seth's the cool guy. I was talking to him just a few days ago, actually.
Oh wow.
Because he's been pretty busy with life stuff. I mean, we both have, but
Fair enough.
but yeah, it started from that, because that was how we ended up talking. Was he was basically like, my audience is going to force me to do a collaboration. And we just got to talking from there. So I know most people think, well, I get people know this now, but a lot of people thought he just like this meme lord. It's like, no, he's like a smart dude. Seth's pretty fucking normal. I'm just talking to him. He's got a good head and the shoulders.
Yeah, because from what I recall, the fella was in some kind of pharmaceutical field before. So it's just like,
Yeah,
guy's got a good head on his shoulders.
Because I saw part of his stream where he's talking about his cancer stuff. Because sometimes I've been like, hey, Dr. Seth, I've got a question for you.
Oh god.
Because he usually has pretty good insight on stuff. Like, hey, like just for like pharmaceuticals, it's like, hey, so I'm thinking about this. Doctors say that. What do you think? You'll be like, actually, you could probably get away just taking this like this over the counter thing kind of deal.
Huh.
So yeah, he's still very on top of his medical knowledge, I think.
God damn.
It's more just the I mean, I don't want to talk too much about like him, but he more just got out of it because of just not politics, but this kind of corporate environment stuff that every industry has. Where it's like you go into a field to do one thing, and then you see how the sausage is made. And it's like, I don't know if this is really where I could be doing the most, and kind of get disillusioned with it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Seen plenty of that at my workplace here and there. Good lord.
Oh
Good
yeah.
Lord. 'Cause,
I mean, you go to work for. Yeah, I had a similar kind of deal, but I wasn't in medical, where it's like you go to work thinking you'll be doing one thing, and then you see how things actually are on the inside of it, and it's like, wow, this is. I don't know if this is going to be much of a difference at all. So, might not be the place to be.
Because work of a dealer, for instance, is just, let's see, on the outside it looks very illustrious and whatnot. It's like, oh wow, you're working high establishment, whatever. Nah, man, it's just a wagey job still.
Yeah.
It's
a cool job to tell people, though.
Yeah, it's a fun wagey job, and you get a lot of interesting things. But if your table is dead, you almost fall asleep.
Yeah. I mean, I think when people hear it, they just think they think you're like working the floor in Vegas or something. It's like, oh, I'm like a dealer. It's like, ooh. It's like, do you know you have the mob? It's like, do they clue you in on the deals?
Oh god. We are so tightly regulated that everyone down to a janitor needs to know about organized crime.
Oh man.
So that kind of stuff just doesn't really happen at all. Like our most common clientele, and mind you, this is in the guest service manual, is Southeast Asian elderly women and gentlemen.
Huh.
That's in our guest
Yeah,
service manual.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like a more of a elderly Asian vacation kind of casino.
Let's see.
Over like a...
It's mainly that during the weekdays. When the weekend shift comes around, we actually have a nightclub and everything. So it's all fancy, targeted to youth and whatnot.
Gotcha.
So, regular day shift during the weekday, it's mixed between slow and ridiculously crowded, and then on a Friday and Saturday, oh boy.
So, that's interesting. You have like a rotating, a wildly different rotating demographic over the week.
Yeah. The Fridays are particularly just, oh god.
Oh man.
That was yesterday for me, so yeah. That's great.
The only client like wagey jobs like that I worked were where I dealt with like customers was like retail. Like I worked in like hardware and other place, but it's like with that at least you don't really have like a weirdly different client shift. It's just like, oh, today's really busy because everyone's getting their... I mean, there might be a little bit with like a holiday where it's like, oh, everyone's trying to get their turkey and it's like a bunch of moms, but you don't get where it's like, oh, today it's all elderly people coming in. It's just doesn't happen. It's like that's just like your life every week.
Fair enough. But yeah, with this particular job, there is that rotating client base, but thankfully, as a customer service job, the one thing we don't have to deal with, which is very weird for customer service, is we never have to deal with kids.
Oh, true, yeah, because they're not allowed to be anywhere near there.
They're not allowed on the casino floor at all.
I mean, that avoids a lot of trouble.
So, yeah.
That must be nice. That is a good perk, actually.
Yeah. So, never have to deal with kids, but it's still in a customer service job. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Never have to go, oi, don't touch that, or oi, no, you can't bet, or whatever. If we
more than that, you don't have to argue with their parents about like their kid running all over the place.
Oh, yeah. Because, goddamn, if there were kids screaming on the main gaming floor, I think I'd have quit the job within the first week.
Oh, absolutely. Like, on top of everything else, that's too much.
Yeah, the job's a good one. I'll say. Plenty of lifestyle perks.
For sure.
Unfortunately, we can't take tips. If we could take tips, we would probably be making a killing. But, yeah, we can't take tips under regulation.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'd imagine that's like for just make sure. Yeah, because it's not a good look if someone's handing money off to a dealer after a card game.
Yeah, I've had people try to tip me before. I'm just like, oi,
no,
buddy, we can't take those. You want to tip someone? Find someone who's not wearing a yellow license. Find someone who's wearing a white license. Those people can take the tips. So then the drink server comes around and they tip the drink server. I'm like, oh, damn it.
That does suck. But that's like, I do get it though.
Yeah.
It's just not a good look if like, if you fucking strike out at blackjack and the guy next to you's like, and hands $100 to the dealer. It's like, when people have alcohol in them too, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, we're not actually allowed to deal to anyone who is dead drunk.
Really?
Yeah. We have to apply...
Australia is so different than America.
We have to apply RSA, so it's just responsible service of alcohol. It's like, oh, if you notice one sign of drunkenness, then you immediately stop dealing.
Do people have to pay for the drinks?
Yeah, people have to pay for the drinks, for the most part. Like, any alcoholic beverage, they have to pay for. Any regular beverage, for the most part, they can get for free. So, water, Red Bulls, lemon lime bitters, lemonade, tea... Coffees are free.
So, I was gonna say in America, but casinos are different all over. In Las Vegas, what they will do is all the big casinos, once you're in, they have no windows and no clocks.
Oh.
They are very elaborate buildings, but they're kept like the same ambient lighting. They'll usually make you kind of like turn into it, so you can't, if it's like an open entryway like you have, they will they won't have a way to see outside, and they go in there, and so you can't tell what time it is, and they will have nice servers running around, and the drinks are free.
Oh dear.
If you're playing games, you'll just have drivers, not drivers, you'll have servers come up and go, hey, like, do you want light beer? And they will just give you free drinks, and they pay for themselves. If people are like getting rowdy drunk or problem drunk, you will get like tossed out.
Yeah.
But they encourage their clientele to be a little buzzed playing the games.
Huh.
So it is a strange thing to think about, like, just a place that's giving out free alcohol, but they make sure you're playing before they do.
Because
the house always
wins. We almost do the complete opposite. We have windows.
Yeah, regulations. The idea in Vegas is you don't want to know how much time you're spending there, and you want to have some alcohol on you. They're just trying to keep you in this magic wonderland with all the bright lights, get you thinking you're gonna win big.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, we have windows, we have clocks everywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a regulation thing too, just so that people can realize how much time they're spending.
It is a regulation thing. We also have pamphlets that we can hand out, as well as a whole bunch of signs saying to practice responsible gambling, etc. Because the moment we find someone is doing reckless gambling, we actually have to kick them out.
Interesting.
So,
that's such a different world.
So problem gamblers are actually banned from the casino, and there was one time I'm dealing at a table and some lady comes along, hands me a stack of like 5k, and we're just like, okay, cash change 5k, starts counting it out. I'm making up the amount in chips, so I take out like 5k in cash chips.
Right.
I was like about to hand it out. My hand gets pulled over by a supervisor. They're like, stop. I'm like, huh? What's going on? Like, suddenly one of the managers comes along, I'm like, oh shit.
Uh-oh. She's a frequent visitor.
They take the person's ID, they call security over.
Whoa.
They say, okay, put the chips back, hand them back the cash. They got escorted out.
Oh my god.
I asked the Soup later, and Soup was just like, oh yeah, that one is an excluded patron. They're not allowed in.
Oh my god. That's unbelievably responsible. It's unthinkable here in our casinos.
Yeah, it wasn't any more than 2 minutes that they arrived at my table before management got straight to them.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where the establishment doesn't want to just take their money, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah. Like, we prefer to have pleasant clientele.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that you're working in one, I don't know if you gambled before, but like, do you think you'd ever like be gambling at a place now that you've like been working at one?
Nah, probably not.
Nah, yeah, I hear that a lot from people who like have even just like working security or service there or something.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, now that I've seen how it's done, it's like I've seen what the chances are and stuff. You especially see what the chances are.
Yeah. Like, thing is, anyone who has a yellow license over here, so it's a special employee license, you are not allowed to gamble at a property you work at.
Okay.
And yeah, because of specific circumstances, I'm not going to gamble. Because, like, it's not worth it at all. Like, I have seen people, because the game I deal is Baccarat. And Baccarat, how does one put it? It is probably the most...
So it's like a more complicated heads or tails, right?
Yeah, it's more complicated heads or tails, and it is a game that makes the most for the casino and potentially loses the most for the casino.
Is it like where does oh wait, no, it's Baccarat, it's French, right? Or
along those lines, but essentially you're paying out 1-to-1, so it's double or nothing.
Oh, okay, I think we might call it something different here. Okay, yeah, I just looked up. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it pays out
I've played it at like
Yeah. Because it is a very dangerous game of payouts, pretty much. Just like, yes, double or nothing, double or nothing, double or nothing.
True.
and people double up pretty often.
Jesus.
I will see a guy come in with 1k, drops the 1k, wins, drops the 2k, wins again, drops the 4k, loses. 4k down the drain.
God. I've seen it played before, but I don't think it's I've played like at a party once, but it was they called it something different. They got because it's American South and nothing's right. But yeah, I have seen Baccarat played before.
American South.
Yeah, it's very different. Like people will play like I've heard blackjack called strange things before around here.
Oh, we have a couple of variations. We have blackjack, blackjack challenge, we have pontoon even.
Mm-hmm.
That one's a weird one. Apparently you can pay insurance in that one. Anyhow. Yeah. Like, we have a lot of table games over here. Like, anytime you want to learn a new table game, it is actually close to like a college course, kinda.
Wow.
Or college
just
unit.
they educate you on everything about it.
Yeah, it's about like 4 to 6 weeks worth of content. Like 4 to 6 weeks of content in like a part-time or full-time setting. And it's just like,
wow.
Yes. There are many exams you have to go through as well.
Are you thankful to not be having to deal blackjack though?
Oh, the thing with blackjack is you would be standing up the entire time.
Yeah. I was thinking that, and it was just like in the customer and the clientele being like, we have to be like, sorry, sir, you lose.
You see, let's see, right before they shoved us into the training, they made us demo all of the games.
Oh, okay.
So they had us try out blackjack, they had us try out roulette, and they had us try out baccarat. Blackjack was probably the fastest and the most depressing one to play. Because you just get the massive heart-sinking feeling of the moment you lose to the dealer, they immediately take your bet.
Yep.
And they snatch it away really quickly, so it's like, oh my god, wait, what? That's gone already?
Blackjack's stressful.
Yeah.
It's just, there's nothing, there's no strategy, just, okay, I guess hit. It's like, will the numbers be right? Oh, guess not, okay.
Yeah, blackjack is complete and totally a memory game for the most part. If you can count cards, then you're a god at it.
Yeah.
If you can't, then yeah. The thing is, we have like 5 countermeasures for counting cards.
I know they like
spot a card counter, we actually have to report it to security.
That's what's so strange about blackjack, because like they've had to come up with so many countermeasures, like the constant shuffling or adjusting stuff, and then it's like, oh, blackjack's a game where you're supposed to be able to like take a guess at, you know, the odds of your next card being good to get to 21. But if we think you're too good at it, you've got to go. It's just such a strange like balance to find, where it's like you have to actually be guessing, because if you actually know the odds of it, you're not who we're looking to play.
Yeah, pretty much, because at that point it's like, oi, buddy, oi, you are actively making us lose a lot of money. Because it is simply just stated, oh yeah, if you want to make money at a casino, go learn blackjack. If you want to try make money but rely on luck, go do baccarat. If you're in for a night out, just go play roulette.
Yeah. That's very good advice.
Yeah, the funny thing with roulette though is we actually hold tournaments for roulette.
Roulette tournaments?
Yeah, the thing is, every single casino game that we have can actually be turned into a tournament of some kind. Baccarat has a tournament format. Roulette has a tournament format. Poker, of course, we have the World Poker Tournament coming up. And that is going to be busy as all hell.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, roulette tournaments are kind of funky. Because, let's see, it's people betting on their layout of chips. So they're like, oh, I am going to optimize my layout so that no matter what number it runs on, I will at least get some kind of payout, pretty much.
Huh.
And depending on how they do that, more or less just adjusts how well they score. Like, they're trying to mitigate as much RNG as possible.
Interesting.
So eventually, it's probably just going to be solved and there'll be one particular pattern that is just mathematically right. But yeah. For now though, it's still a work in progress.
I'd imagine.
Because yeah, those kinds of tournaments, they're held every week. Kinda wild in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like some games you think it's like you can visualize tournaments for since they're so popular. Like poker.
Yeah, poker.
It's like roulette. It's like roulette tournament.
Yeah. It's pretty funky.
Guess it's an event.
Yeah. We also had Baccarat tournaments, and that's, you know, seeing who's the best at heads and tails.
That would be weird if like frequent winners emerged in those.
Oh, there are frequent winners. We have a leaderboard. we actually have a leaderboard, and it's like, huh. Because I sit
How
down.
is that guy so good at guessing it?
Yeah, I sit down at certain tables, and I can see the screen, and I'm like, this name is the same every time. And it's not by a small margin, it's by a huge margin as well.
Oh.
So I'm just like, this guy, how is this guy this good?
Yeah. Oh, so in the chat, so that sounds like the plot to an anime. Isn't there like a gambling one that came out like a year or two ago? I've seen it on Netflix where they have like the red eyes and they really like gambling.
That one,
I can't remember the name of it though.
Kakaguri.
That was it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't watch a whole ton.
I would not recommend that particular one.
Is it? Would you say it's just bad, or is it like, are you like, it's not realistic? Or it's like, this is just shit.
Okay. So imagine a plot where you have, you know, elevating stakes and whatnot.
Right.
It's like, maybe they'll just lose their rights to this or that, or, you become subservient to this person for a while, etc. This one starts out just being like, you lose your rights to being a human being, and you're pretty much treated like an animal, and that's one of the first things that happens to a character.
Whoa, that's different.
The thing is, said character enjoys this particular fact because now they get to gamble as much as they want.
Oh, okay.
The problem then comes though is everything beyond that is either too high stakes or too low stakes.
Yeah, because when you've gotten to like, I guess when your starting point is gamble slave, then it's like you either die or it's something that doesn't matter much.
Yeah. Because the thing is, every stake from then on, if the character lost, then the plot would be over.
Yeah.
So no matter what, they had to win. So every single event after, everything after that, they won.
That is a shame.
So the thing is, you have a gambling anime, however, all the tension is dead.
Yeah. It's like if you're gonna do a gambling, I guess, program, you can't really center it on one character. You kind of have to have a cast.
Yeah. There's a couple of stuff
out there. You can't center it on one.
Yeah, there's a couple of stuff out there that does do it effectively, in a sense, by having that larger cast. It's just that those are definitely on the more obscure side of things, and yeah, so some of them are not very much people's particular taste.
Understandable.
Because I'm not sure many people are going to watch an anime about mahjong, for example.
Oh wait, I've heard of that one actually. I can't remember the title of it.
There's two of them. One of them is if you're going for all your moe anime girls, and the other one is edgy, very edgy.
I think I've heard of the edgy one.
Oh, the edgy one's good. That one's a kagi.
That's okay. Yeah, okay. That is why I've heard of it. I don't know much about moe stuff. It's never really.
Yeah.
I get why people watch it more now. It's not my kind of thing.
Fair enough.
Because like when I first, my anime exposure was weird. Well, my dad was actually a huge weeb.
Oh.
He had a long story. He was like part of an exchange student thing where he host when I was like a baby. He hosted a Japanese student here with my mom.
Okay.
And so And so when I was like very young, I came home once and there was a Japanese woman in my house, and she's like, "Hi, I'm Yuko," and it freaked me the fuck out because I didn't I didn't know who this lady was. I've never seen like a just like living in the South, like a completely Japanese woman. Just didn't know what was happening.
Huh.
But and so like he would talk to them, and they gave him like some Studio Ghibli VHS stuff, and like
okay.
because they had like a VCR or something, and they had like recorded whatever was airing there.
Oh.
And so he got into anime a little bit, and so some of my first media memories are him like showing me My Neighbor Totoro, and then like dubbed Speed Racer episodes.
Oh god.
And then he had he liked this one movie that I can't remember the name of it, but it was about like some guy steals a submarine. It was like a serious one. Like, I guess a military officer steals a nuclear submarine and wants to like bring back Imperial Japan or something.
Huh.
It was something pretty gnarly, but anyway, so that was my knowledge of anime. And then like it was just a blank spot for years, because like in school I just didn't care about it much. And then in high school we had like one of those anime clubs, which were just like the nightmare ones. And so all I knew about anime was just like, oh, it's like there's some good movies, and then there are these shows which besides Dragon Ball, which I knew kind of watched, but this other stuff seems weird. Like these kids seem really weird. I don't want to learn about this at all. And that must have been like some sort of phenomena here, because it seems like when people got like in college or just got older and found it on their own, it's just like, wow, this stuff's really cool. There's good stuff in here.
Yeah, that happened here as well. I actually ran an anime club off in university. That was a time. That was a time.
I'd imagine you'd have some. That's hard, because it's like if you're in an anime club, it's one thing, but to be like running one and you get like that guy who shows up, and it's like, oh god, like this is like a responsibility of mine now. I have to like deal with this.
Oh yeah, we had the creep which hit on every single chick with a pulse. That was a thing.
Yeah, it's always a thing.
Yep, there were a lot of troublesome members.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you took on the reins of managing it.
Because no one else was willing to at the time.
No, it's like that's a hell of a task, though. It is interesting that every time I meet someone who was like involved in one, they always have that story of there's this dude who was hitting on everybody nonstop.
Yeah.
Because Brendan was telling me one where it's like, oh yeah, we had Kitsu King. That was it, because he was they called him Kitsu King, because I don't care about his real name, because he always had like one of those foxtails hanging out of his pants.
Oh god.
So they called him Kitsu King. And he said, yeah, like I was talking to some friends from it, and he walked up and he was like, hello girls, would you like to go to Wendy's with me? We could get a Frosty. They don't call them milkshakes, they're called Frosties. Any of you girls, would one of you like to go with me to Wendy's? It's like, oh no.
God.
He's just like, yeah, and he had been like a problem, because he had been like sending them creepy messages, like hitting on people before. I just really was impressed by the line, do one of you girls, any of you girls, want to come with me to Wendy's? It's like take the smallest amount of tact, but
yeah,
that's just kind of the way it goes with those groups sometimes.
We had a list of excluded members. Decent list of them as well. They were an interesting bunch.
Oh god.
Mainly because I knew the guy on the list. I was like, okay, I never want to touch this guy. I never want to deal with this guy. First media arts course I go into.
There he is.
He's a loud bastard hitting on every chick in the class, and mind you, the gender ratio was along the lines of, 18 female, 3 guys.
Oh, that's really funny. There's like 18 of them.
So I'm just
Oh
there in
my
the
God.
corner on my laptop, and I'm just like, the hell is this guy doing shifting chairs so often?
Yeah, it's like that's so strange because it's you think he would like at least like pick someone out he wants to talk to if he's interested in them, but he's just like, I'm just gonna shotgun the pellets across the whole room and see what hits.
Then I ran into the guy at let's say it's the equivalent of like a Burger King over there. Yeah, at a Burger King line, pretty much. So Hungry Jack's line. I was like, oh God, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. And
so
yeah, it was full on being very, very sexist. Yes.
oh
Because
man.
of course he was.
Oh, to like one of the workers there.
No, just to some woman in the queue.
Oh my God. I don't know if that's better or no, it's all bad. I was gonna say I don't know if it's better or worse because you can tell a lot by how people treat service people, and it's like, oh, if he's like fucking around with someone who's working there and like kind of can't deal with it, it's like that sucks. But it's like, oh, it's just some person in line too.
Yeah, we found it even worse with this fella because, as it turns out, he's banned from the local conventions as well.
Oh my God.
Mainly because he hits on cosplayers. And is
so dude's
generally
relentless.
creepy. Yeah. So I'm there at the con, I'm just like, oh fuck, this guy's here. Of course this guy's here.
How is he not banned from this one?
Apparently he just uses alternative names and whatnot to get the tickets.
Figures.
And it's only after a member of staff recognizes him that he gets kicked out.
That is pretty insane because it's not even like I don't even want to. I don't even know how to word it. Like, oh, there's a it's like at least I could understand. It's like I get if someone's like, oh, there's this guy who keeps harassing this girl or this group of girls. It's like, oh, he's like we're this stalkerish type. But it's, oh no, he's hitting on literally every girl he comes into contact with and being creepy with him.
Yeah.
Just like we can't have him near anybody. Just get him out.
Yep. Pretty much. Like
So you think you'd learn? Like oh my God.
We have the risk list and then we have the banned list.
I'm sure he was quite past being on the risk list.
Yeah, because he was banned from not 2 generations ago, not 3 generations, 4 generations ago.
Oh my God.
So
he's like a veteran at it.
We had gone through multiple generations dealing with this guy, like multiple generations of presidents for this anime club. And it's just like, it's like you pass the shit list on, and it's like, so this person's on the shit list, this person's on the shit list, and definitely this person.
It's like when a government leader has like a letter next for the next either letter for the next up and coming guy. Whoever's going to be in charge next, like, here, no, it's difficult being the president. Let me write down some notes about it.
Yeah,
it's like, by the way, there's this fucking dude. You're going to have to deal with him in your life.
Yeah, that was always part of the handover process.
It's like, there's going to be, they meet at 5, there's going to be this fucking weirdo. He will be back.
Yeah. We
my predecessor fought him, and my predecessor before him fought him. You'll have to as well.
So the thing was, the reason the fellow kind of kept coming back was we realized, oh wait, our constitution only lets us exclude people for a certain amount of time. What if we just change that to indefinitely?
Yeah.
So during my year, we just ratified it to, indefinite ban.
Should like name it after him, just like the...
Yeah, the... whatever.
The local Weirdo Safety Act, which has changed the ban list into being indefinite if decided.
Yeah, that got implemented, I think, the year after I was out. Yeah. So the guy just pretty much could never come back, but it was the kind of fellow that would deliberately fail university courses so he could stick around university longer.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's why he was always in the introductory units.
Oh, shit. That makes it so much worse.
Hence why I said introduction to media arts, right there.
Yeah, well, because at first I was wondering, we're like, oh, like they dealt with 4 generations of him. Like, Why wouldn't he just like graduate at some point? It's like, oh, he's failing the intro courses, then bouncing her. Oh man, that added so many new dimensions to it.
Yeah.
That's like a horror movie reveal. It's like,
It's
like, oh, I see what he's doing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. He wasn't.
So why not?
He wasn't the only guy who did that either. There was another guy, but that's an even longer story. That one is. Let's see.
I guess the
one
mindset's
a
like,
wild
at
one.
least if you're gonna stay, like, if your plan is I want to hit on everyone in the college, it's like fine, I guess, fine. But if you're doing that plan, but it's like, at least can you do higher education there, like work on a master's or something? But it's like, oh, that wouldn't make sense because then your targets are getting even like smarter older people compared to hanging out in the intro courses and taking your chances. God damn.
Yeah. There was one other guy who did the same thing of failing on purpose, but this was for an entirely different reason. How does one put it? So imagine there's the lowest common denominator of like societies and clubs out there. There's the anime club. There's also the gaming club.
Oh no.
The president for that one had stayed there for like 5 or 7 years or something like that.
Was he staying to be gamer president?
Yeah. He was deliberately failing his units just to be gaming society president.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The thing was, the reason why we had so many strict regulations and protocols to follow was because of the gaming society's malpractice.
The gaming society's malpractice.
How does one put it? There was money laundering, sexual harassment, plenty of manipulation, and yeah, just borderline crime. Pretty much.
So you as a casino dealer are saying that your environment's quite safe and regulated, when in reality your university had the gamer mafia in it. Led by a psychotic man who keeps dropping out to come back.
Yeah, pretty much. And the guy... Okay, so the guy would go to any club out there and try and get a hand into that club and manipulate whoever was in charge and whatnot. So he'd go over to say, oh, yeah, seize the computing society instead. Oh, you're tangentially related to gaming. I'm gonna absorb you.
Oh my god.
He's the sci-fi club. Oh. Let's see.
That's
That's tangentially related. Let's take you in. So he would just start.
You've got a lot of computers, but my boys want to play games on them, so you was gonna hang out with us for a while.
Oh god. So what would happen is he'd just go over to different clubs and just take them in and just slowly absorb them into some kind of conglomerate. I think the biggest partnership was between the cosplay club and the gaming club, I think it was. Along those lines.
That is a match made in hell.
Yes, it was.
Oh my god.
So what would happen from there is there would be the people that obeyed the gaming club and the people who were outside of the gaming club's influence.
Oh my god.
We were outside of their influence. They hated us.
Of course, because you didn't submit to the fedora and join the Great Gaming Con, and now.
Yeah,
I mean, at least you made it outside of it.
Didn't. But yeah, the treasurer of the gaming club was being pretty much emotionally manipulated and held there against his will.
Oh god.
Constantly.
It's like an actual like a
and,
fucking Disney villain or something, where they have like the little crony who like doesn't like him that much. It's like, you must do what I say. It's like, master, I don't want to do this. Take account of the cosplayers. Assemble a list of characters I'd like them to dress up as.
Oh my god.
Mr. President, this is unthinkable. I want to see 5 Tifas this week.
Oh god. Yeah, eventually the treasurer just snapped and just let loose all of the information, leaked it all to the university. It was just like, okay, here's the ledger we sent you. Here's the real ledger.
Oh boy. How much was he like pocketing?
So there
I'd
was
imagine
this
it must have been
whole
significant.
there was this whole insurance scandal, basically.
Insurance scandal.
Okay, so gaming club,
Gamer insurance.
they had all of these retro consoles and games and whatnot, all like stashed away in their locker, blah blah blah. And university's meant to take, accountability for anything that's locked up on their property. So suddenly, all of these consoles go missing one day.
Oh no.
So they complain to the university, they get a financial grant of blah blah blah, X amount of money, and then a couple of days later the consoles pop back in.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Then later on the president's bragging about his whole new rig that he bought.
Huh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Money laundering.
The gaming club.
Yeah. Kind of amazing that this
That
kind of
is,
shit
like,
happened.
That's an incredible like story to have, because it's not just like, oh, we had a gaming club. It's like, oh, we had this weird petty crime gaming club that was muscling in on like the other ones to try and get members to scam.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, the casino? That's so nice. Like, it's regulated. Yeah. Everything's safe. It's so nice. Oh my god, the gamers. Criminal hive.
Yeah.
People are getting shanked in the hallways for their V-Bucks.
Yep. That is functionally what we dealt with. And how does one put it? The moment it all came crashing down, it was pretty much instituted that a gaming club shall no longer exist in any capacity whatsoever.
Oh, that's amazing.
And cannot exist in any capacity. So instead you get like you get like a computing club, you get maybe a League of Legends club or whatever. League club was,
you cannot have a general one.
You can't have a general gaming club. League club had all kinds of yikes itself, but that was a different matter entirely.
Oh sure, but
yeah.
If anything, league club is more like a jail.
Yeah,
you know what you're getting into.
And then from there, we had very tight regulations put on our money. So club budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
For one, clubs weren't allowed to carry around a card anymore. So everything had to be, all transactions had to be handled in cash or reimbursements via bank transfer.
Smart.
Bank transfers had to be authorized by 2 people. And you were subject to at least 1 audit every year.
Just due to the gamer embezzlement.
And the fact of the matter was anyone who had to sign up for treasurer had to be in some business related or accounting related degree.
Also very smart.
So you couldn't have people that just came in and managed money without any knowledge. You needed people who could balance the books.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Now I'm mad that we never had like any kind of gaming club here, because I would love to have a nightmare story where an official in a southern accent has to announce it's shut down. The anime club will live, but a general gaming club must be abolished forever.
Oh, God.
I just love that the actual policy is that the gaming club must be abolished eternally.
Yeah, like
just never again can we make this mistake.
Because after that died, people started making all of the other splinter kind of gaming groups, like League of Legends Club. There was a Minecraft Society. Oh god, the Minecraft Society.
See, I thought that might be pleasant, but then I remembered that, well, I guess modern Minecraft's a little more wacky, but I guess Minecraft Club could definitely attract trouble if it's not just casually playing Minecraft with your friends.
Money laundering, white knighting, emotional manipulation.
I love how all these start with money laundering. It's like, oh, there was there was an Attack on Titan club, then there was the money laundering, the racketeering, the guns. It's
like clubs were an interesting sphere here. Like you'd hear about other clubs, you'd be like, oh, anime club, we have like a budget of like 1k. Okay, what can we do with 1k? Okay, like we can buy some figurines and some merch, hand those out as prizes, whatever. And we're not a small club either, we're 200 to 300 members. So we're just like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a bit of a stretch. I guess we'll hold some
Yeah.
card game tournaments throughout the year to make a bit of extra bucks so we can actually put that back into the system too.
Do like a drive for something, 'cause that is small for that.
Hmm.
Or someone goes, hey, if we all cosplay as Attack on Titan characters, some of my friends in the Triad say we can hide some gun parts inside of our 3D maneuver gear parts, and go down to the harbor and we'll have a lot more budget for the anime club this year.
Oh god. But yeah. So whatever budget, about 1k. Normally we have we had a floating 1k thereabouts, just thanks to those card game tournaments, because they were fairly profitable. Weebs like buying their fancy cardboard.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Then we hear about the debating club's budget. And they casually pull out a figure of 50k.
For a debate club?
Yes, for a debating club.
Where they get it? Was that just university funding? Where'd they get that from?
No idea where the hell they got that.
There must be like people donating to the university or something who are like, I don't know. That's absurd.
On paper, you were only meant to have a budget of around $500, pretty much. Anyone who was above $500 was considered on the richer side for societies.
50k.
50k. And they were like, oh, can we still get grants? And everyone in the room just looked at them.
Oh, no.
They were like, because, yeah, that 50k, we kind of have to freeze it so that we can send people overseas for a debating tournament.
Okay, I was about to say, like, why would you need 50k for Nerd Argue Club? But yeah, I guess if you're traveling to argue with people in Korea or Singapore, whoever's nearby, I guess that makes more sense.
France.
But oh, whoa, that's a step farther than I thought they'd be going.
14 days.
Is it like an international, like, it's like a debate tournament or something?
I'm pretty sure the tournament was only meant to last 2 days.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Very, very interesting.
Very interesting. We have to practice in the City of Love for 10 days before the tournament.
Yeah. It was a team of 5, I think. Yeah. Along those lines.
5 people, $50,000.
So $10,000 holiday to Europe.
Man, I think I'd feel bad doing that. Even like knowing how much budget you have compared to everyone else, like. But yeah, it's debate club. They don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They just like winning. That's what debate club is about.
They'll just, they'll argue their way out of things to an extent. My God.
My budget won.
Oh,
the gamers are known criminals anyways here.
Oh my God. I do wonder where
statistically
all that
it makes
went.
more sense to give us money.
Oh God. Anyhow, let's hop back to a couple of questions. Let's see. So, what are your current thoughts on the game review space as it is currently? Like, there are people that do their long form content, there are people that just review a game over pretty much a vlog.
Yeah,
what do you currently think of it?
I'd say it's very healthy right now.
Oh, okay.
I think just user access is so much better to get tools for it and stuff that anyone could do it, which it has drawbacks, but it's great. I can't really be like, no one should be allowed to review games, but I think it's good that anyone can now, because people do kind of choose who to listen to on stuff and who basically can get up there. I guess because before it was just so, like, with the industry, like the actual press and websites and stuff, there is a lot more verification and double checking they do. But you have issues of, like, how close they get with the people making the games for advertisement purposes, and like, will the website lose access to stuff? But then you have like Joe Schmo who can upload whatever the hell he wants, but they can get things wrong more easily. They can just make shit up. It's like there's benefits and drawbacks to both, but I think that the fact that there is such variety gives people more options. It's like if a new game comes out, even if it's pretty obscure. There's gonna be someone talking about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, it's doing pretty well. I did a guide video on how to do kind of review videos of 2 years ago, because I get people emailing me asking about it. So I said, okay, I'll just make a video I could link people to get the common questions out of the way.
Fair enough.
So yeah, just to make it easier for people to kind of learn basics about it, since it's like I'm not a professional at anything either, but here's what I do, here's stuff I use. Since it is sort of flying blind on it, most industry people usually have degrees in journalism, and they're usually moving on to covering other stuff they actually wanted to at some point. But some people do go in for games, but it all just depends.
Yeah. Being in a journalistic space is just, there is the politics to handle there. And games is not much different after sponsored content and whatnot. Let's see. What are your thoughts on placing a score on a game then, in which case?
I think scores are good for, it is helpful for something like Metacritic, where it's useful for, I guess, generalization, but I don't find it super helpful for knowing, like, I guess it's hard to word, because it's like if you go to Metacritic for some game and it's like critic reviews are really high and user reviews are really high, like just the number average, you could guess it's probably going to be like at least polished. It might not be your kind of thing, but it's like, oh, it'll be a real game.
Yeah,
but you might have like, oh, where or you might have like, oh, where the user score is super low and the critic score is really high, which can mean anything from like, okay, maybe something's really broken with the game, or it could be some unrelated political thing that happened and people are mad about. Yeah. Or it could be the other way around, where like the critic score is super low and the user reviews are super high, where it's like, okay, this could also be a political thing. Or so you don't know for sure. But when the scores kind of align in like a more sensible way, when they're all kind of floating around like 80s or something like that, it at least tells you like if it's not horribly broken or if people are like generally enjoying it. Which is like, if you're gonna buy something, that's good. But as far as like an in-depth review of stuff goes, I think it's kind of hard to rate enjoyment in a number like that. Since it's like, you know, with like movies and stuff, like you can be like, oh, this movie has great production design and like the acting is good and the music's good. You can be like, oh, but the writing is horrible, or like this doesn't make sense. Like, oh, this could all be nonsense, but I enjoyed the movie. So it's like, how do you put a number on that? It's like in my case, I've covered games that are like horribly broken in some aspects, but it's like, whoa, this thing it does is really neat. Or like, oh, this has like a really good atmosphere, but like that has features that just don't work and are slapped on. And it's like, I don't know how to, like, there's so much stuff that's broken in this, but I had so much fun playing it. It's like, I don't know how to rate this. Like, I can't is it a 5 because it's broken? Is it a 10 because I had a bunch of fun? It's it's like the fun could be a 10, but it's like, it'd be insane to put it as that for like a score on it.
Yeah, it's trying to find some kind of discernible metric. Like,
yeah, I mean, people can section it out better when they're like, oh, no graphics 5 or like fun factor, whatever. But I find it, I don't think I'd ever be consistent with it, so I just don't bother. It's like, I'll just talk about it.
Fair enough. Because the way you handle reviews in terms of layout and whatnot feels like the old format that, say, IGN used to use, of like presentation, gameplay, story, audio, etc. However, rather than giving like a distinct score for each of them, you just either give your recommendation or like a more descriptive recommendation at the end of it.
Because I'll move things around a bit, but I always start with after I go through a little premise, I usually just start with visuals, because it's like, it's literally the first thing you notice about a game. So it's like it makes sense to talk about it just from the start. Because it's like that's how like stuff's marketed when people are like, oh, when stuff's preyed up for screenshots or E3 or whatever. It's like, okay, that's graphics are the very first thing that sells your game, so it makes sense to start with that.
Yep, pretty much. From there, yeah, mix of audio or gameplay or whatever. Huh. Fair enough, fair enough. Actually, that does make me fairly curious then. What exactly got you sold on something like MechWarrior then?
I like the BattleTech setting. I play a bit of the tabletop stuff, but I haven't touched like Mech Lab in a while.
My condolences for the tabletop. My condolences.
It's a nightmare. My friend got more into it. A different one, but he would play BattleTech at the old board game place. I actually used some of his figures for the MechWarrior video.
Oh, okay.
In his disgusting room at the time, but but I play like the Xbox games too, like
the old
MechAssault
games.
Yeah. I played MechAssault. I played on the Xbox, and later I was like, oh, I play like MechWarrior 4 and stuff, which is really good. It's like, oh, it's MechWarrior Online, just seeing how that was, which but they're working other stuff now, because I know MechWarrior 5 is chugging along.
MechWarrior 5 is an interesting case. Very interesting case.
Strange choices with that, but
yeah, I want to like the game. The mods are basically what's propping it up. You can change that into actually just Mech Commander, actually. It's kind of whack how far the mods are actually going with that game.
Same thing happened with just the BattleTech RTS, where they have like Rogue Tech and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because yeah, BattleTech franchise, the most I can really say about it is yeah, big stompy robots are a way of life. That's probably what I go with. Yeah.
It's exactly what you think it is. It's like, you could get into like the lore of clans and stuff. But
why does it have more lore than 40k? Why?
Its lore is at least way more digestible than 40k.
Yeah.
40k is like such a nightmare compared to BattleTech, where it's pretty. There's not been like huge, weird shakeups in quite the way that Warhammer has.
And you have the clans in BattleTech, I suppose, but.
Which is another weird thing about 5, just like. Just when they were picking, like, oh,
it's all in a sphere, so it's like, huh.
Yeah, it's like, this is strange, but okay.
And Succession War is not bad. It's just a lot of people are in for the clan stuff as well.
Yeah. So like, it's gonna be Mech Lab? No Mech Lab yet. What?
Oh god, yeah, the fact that it has to be modded in.
That is so strange.
Yeah, because they simplified it really hard of just like, oh, you have large hard points, medium hard points, small hard points. I just want my hard points.
Seriously. Also, I hate to cut this off here, but I actually have to get going soon. I didn't realize what time it was.
Yeah, fair enough. In that case, just a final 2 questions, very quick ones.
Sure.
So these are pretty quick fire. So first one is recommend some food. Any food whatsoever.
Oh man, I wish I could recommend something exotic, but mozzarella sticks.
Mozzarella sticks.
You can make them at home pretty easily. Well, it's really just the breading that takes a while. There's good recipes online.
Oh, those kinds of mozzarella sticks. Oh, I see.
Yeah, because you can just buy like the refrigerated like cheese sticks, and you can make your own breading for it, which is just. I'd recommend panko breadcrumbs.
Oh, okay.
Well, not bread, but like the Japanese style ones.
Yeah.
And you can like mix in like thyme, oregano, all your spices. And if you try mixing a tiny bit of cinnamon in there, it no greater ratio than any other spice, but it'll add a bit of a nice aroma to them and make them a tiny bit sweet.
All right.
Which it sounds like a strange thing to do, but if you have enough spices, because I have a recipe somewhere, but putting it in there is quite nice. So I recommend that compared to because if you get them right, they'll be better than any restaurant one you try, because you can make them exactly how you want to for pretty simply.
All right, Fair enough then, fair enough. And as for the second one, recommend a drink. Any drink whatsoever.
I will recommend the Halligan. It was invented by Avery.
Oh god.
It is you take 3 parts apple cider and then 1 part Everclear.
Wait,
You can
wait.
you can adjust this ratio how you want.
The Halligan. Fucking. Oh god.
Yeah. We've never gotten the ratio right because we're eyeballing it, but
Everclear.
Yeah, it's do you have Everclear there?
No, it's pretty illegal over here.
Yeah, it's quite illegal in most places. Well, even here in the States, Everclear is illegal in some places.
Yeah,
it's basically, it's just, for those who don't know, it's just a grain alcohol. It's higher alcohol than like a cleaning solution.
Yeah,
I've done shots of it before. I don't recommend that. It might have permanently changed my voice.
So.
The one I get is 94% alcohol.
Yeah,
the brand I have.
That is meant to burn out your throat.
I've done a shot of it. It's quite unpleasant. I don't recommend it. But
yeah.
It is Everclear is an ingredient.
Yes,
do not view it as a drink.
It's an ingredient, not a drink.
But yeah, if you wanna immerse yourself in Mystery of the Druids, you get some apple juice or cider. You fill it up a good amount, maybe a half or 3/4. Then you just pour the rest. You pour Everclear in there. And that'll give you something of an experience of
the logic that Halligan had to go through to get to that point is just I am going to rob this homeless guy some spare change.
Nick his pennies
so that he can use a payphone to call the museum.
He's a human bug. Like, I don't
you don't understand.
He thinks like an insect. He's not like us. Halligan would be a good gaming club president over there, I think.
Oh yeah, I probably would, yeah. My god. Most of it would be unintentional money laundering, but nonetheless.
I need your money to protect our retro consoles.
Oh god. Why have you got the voice down at that point? Jesus. Alright. Anyhow, it's been a pleasure having you on. I'll just send you off on that.
Sure.
Then.
Thanks so much for having me.
No problem. I will, at one point, send you the story of the Minecraft Society, because...
I'm looking forward to that.
That one is... We wrote out a whole document for that one.
Oh my god.
There were Gundams involved. Anyway.
Alright, thanks so much.
Okay, yep.
Thank
you for coming on.
No problem.
Alright. Say hi, you goddamn bastard. I can't believe you 4-manned. You actually 4-manned. Oh no, 5-manned DSC. Anyway. Thanks for swinging by. I'll send you guys off to the other Aussie.